All right, the last thing we need to talk about is just the last couple examples on how to simplify with exponents. Okay, so for number one, we're just going to multiply the numbers and then we get to add exponents. So if I write them next to each other, it's negative 3 times 5. I have x squared, x to the third, y to the fifth. You don't have to write out this step. I'm just showing you what I'm doing. So here we have negative 15. When you have x squared times x to the third, we add the exponent, so we're going to end up with x to the fifth. Here we have again the same base, so we're going to add exponents and get y to the sixth. Okay, so if you can do all that at the same time, awesome. You don't need to write it all out. Number two, we are going to cancel anything we can from the top to the bottom. So when we're looking at 6 and 15, we'll start there. 3 goes in there twice, and it goes in here 5 times. So far now, I've got 2/5. And how we simplify this. Okay. When I have x to the 4 over x to the 8th, we're going to subtract those. So 4 minus 8 gives me negative 4. So that would, because we subtract from top to bottom, that's going to go up, end up on the bottom. Also, if you think about how you'd cancel them, there's 8 of them on the bottom and 4 on the top. So 4 of them are going to cancel, and we're going to be left with 4 on the bottom. Just like that's x to the 4th. There's a few ways you can just think about canceling. Okay, y's, y to the 5th over y squared. 5 minus 2 is 3, so we're going to have y to the 3rd on top, and then there's still just a z left there. Okay, and then number 3, this 5 has to go to everything, so I'm going to have negative 2 to the 5th, and then we multiply exponents. So x is going to be to the 10th, y to the negative 15, z to the 25. Okay. Now we simplify that. Negative 2 to the 5th is going to be negative 32. When it's to an odd exponent, it's going to stay negative. When it's to an even exponent, it becomes positive. The x to the 10th is fine to stay right there. What do we do with y to the negative 15? It bumps down to the bottom because it's a negative exponent. And then the z to the 25 is fine, so it just stays where it is on top. Our last example, we have it to a negative 3 power. So there's a couple ways you can do this. You can distribute the negative 3 and then flip everything. Or what you can do is kind of simplify things a little bit before you distribute that negative 3. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to simplify some things, anything that I can on the inside. So like a to the 0, we know that is just 1, so that's gone. So I'm still going to have a 2 and a 3. Those can't cancel. The a to the 3rd would then still be down here on the bottom. I look at my b's. B to the negative 8 is going to flip up to the top. So I'm going to have b to the 5th, b to the 8th on top. And so those are going to add together and get b to the 13th. C's, okay, so this c to the negative 2 is going to bump down to the bottom. And so I'd have c squared times c squared, so c to the 4th. Okay, and then this is all still to the negative 3 power. Okay, if I just take care of that negative first, that negative exponent, it's going to flip the location of everything. Okay, so what's on the bottom is going to flip to the top if I use that negative exponent. So I'll have 3a, oops, that's not a negative right there, sorry. Try to erase that, sorry. 3, it's just a to the 3rd. I think it was just a dash, but it wasn't. Looked like a negative, so I fixed it. Okay, so 3a to the 3rd, c to the 4th, and then 2b to the 13th, and I just used the negative, so there's still a 3 out here. So now I need to cube everything. So I'm going to have 3 to the 3rd, a we're going to multiply, so to the 9th, c to the 12th, all over, and we're going to have 2 to the 3rd, and b multiply that, so you're going to get 39. The only thing left to simplify is just the numbers. So 3 to the third is 27. We have a to the ninth, c to the 12th. Okay. And 2 to the third is 8, b to the 39th. All right, thanks for listening, and I will see you guys soon.